Hey there, fellow coin hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for loose change to buy a soda, and boom, you find a penny. You almost ignore it, but wait, what if that tiny copper coin is worth a fortune? What if it's one of the rare 1988 D Lincoln pennies that's selling for an eye-popping $1.1 million? Yep, you heard that right. A 1988 D penny. Not some ancient, mystical treasure. Not a gold-plated, diamond-studded artifact. Just a regular old Lincoln cent, or is it? Today, we're diving deep into why this particular penny is turning heads, what makes it so valuable, and most importantly, how you can find one. So grab your piggy bank, empty your pockets, and let's get started. Alright, let's get one thing straight: most 1988 D pennies are worth exactly what you'd expect, a penny. But a small handful of them? They're sitting in a whole different league. Back in the 80s, the US Mint was transitioning between different engraving styles for Lincoln's portrait. A mix-up happened, and some 1988 pennies were struck using an experimental obverse, front, die paired with an outdated reverse, back, die from 1989. This little mix-up created what collectors call a 1988 D wide AM error. Normally, the letters AM in America on the back of the penny are close together in 1988 cents. But on this rare variety, the A and M are spaced farther apart, just like they were in 1989. That tiny difference? It's what makes this coin worth a life-changing amount of money. And now, I've got to tell you about the time I almost had one of these in my collection. A few years ago, I was going through my change jar, that one that just collects dust in the corner of the kitchen. I had a ton of pennies and decided, hey, let's see if there's anything special in here. I found a 1988 D penny. My heart started racing. I ran to my desk, pulled up pictures of the rare wide AM variety, and grabbed my magnifying glass like I was some kind of detective on a high-stakes case. But, folks, my excitement lasted about 5 seconds. I checked, double-checked, even squinted at that tiny AM. And nope, it was just a regular old 1988 D penny. Worth exactly 1 cent. Let's just say I went through a roller coaster of emotions in record time. But hey, the search continues. Alright, so how do you know if you have one of these $1 million pennies? Here's what to look for: it has to be a 1988 D, Denver Mint. If you see a P or no mint mark at all, it's from Philadelphia, not what we're looking for. If the A and M in America are touching or very close together, sorry, no jackpot for you. Cha-ching, get a magnifying glass or microscope, these details can be tiny. A good magnifying tool will help you confirm the spacing. Verify the FG initials, the designer's initials FG, Frank Gasparo, on the back should look slightly different than the regular version. Now, let's talk numbers. If you find one of these bad boys and it's in top-notch condition, you're looking at up to $1.1 million at auction. Even if yours isn't in perfect shape, it could still sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. One collector unknowingly had one in their drawer for years before selling it for 6 figures. So yeah, checking your pennies might just be the smartest financial decision you make this year. Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers regularly handle rare coins. Yep, some of these rare pennies have been listed and sold on eBay. A reputable dealer can help you assess and sell your coin. You might find a collector willing to pay top dollar. The incredible story of the 1988 D Lincoln penny that could be hiding right in your pocket. Who knew that a simple copper coin could be worth more than a house? Are you checking your pennies yet? Because if you're not, you might just be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Before you go, hit that subscribe button for more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and strategies to make the most of your change jar. Also, drop a comment below: what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's swap stories. Hey, coin hunters. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth a life-changing $1.2 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, what to look for, and how you might just be sitting on a jackpot without even knowing it. Before we get into it, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a random penny in my couch. I was about to toss it in a jar, but something told me to take a closer look. Now, it wasn't a rare one, but that moment sparked my obsession with coin collecting. And here we are today, talking about a penny that could literally pay off your mortgage. Let's get into it. Okay, let's break this down. The 1976 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia. Now, most of these pennies are just worth their face value, but every once in a while, a rare one pops up due to a unique minting error or a special variety point. One of the biggest reasons why some 1976 pennies are worth a fortune? Errors and high-grade condition. If your penny has a rare minting mistake, like a double die, off-center strike, or an unusual composition, you could be looking at a serious payday. And if your coin is in pristine condition, graded MS67 or higher, collectors will pay big bucks for it. Imagine finding a penny in your car's cup holder, taking it to an expert, and realizing it's worth over $1 million. I'd probably scream, drop it, and lose it under the fridge. But let's move on. This means it was made in Philadelphia. Most 1976 pennies from Philly aren't worth much, but some are. Look for doubling in the letters, an off-center strike, or even a wrong metal composition. If your penny looks brand new, like it was never touched, you might want to get it professionally graded. A collector once paid $1.2 million for a near-perfect 1976 no-mint mark penny with a rare error. Imagine turning a single cent into a seven-figure payday. Don't clean it. I know, it's tempting to make it shiny, but collectors want original condition. Take clear pictures and compare it to known rare varieties. Get it graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. This tells collectors the official condition of your coin. Sell it at an auction, online marketplace, or through a coin dealer. There are collectors out there with vaults full of pennies. I like to imagine them swimming in coins like Scrooge McDuck. But hey, if you had $1 million penny, you'd probably build a vault too. I have to share this insane story. A guy in Ohio found a 1976 penny in a jar of random coins he'd been collecting for years. He was about to spend it, but something told him to double-check. After sending it in for grading, he found out it was a rare error penny, one of the only known examples, and it sold for over $1 million at an auction. Alright, let's wrap this up. The moral of the story? Check your change. That 1976 penny in your pocket could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement fund. So next time you get a handful of pennies back at the store, don't roll your eyes. Take a closer look. You never know, you could be holding $1 million surprise. And hey, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on coins worth serious money. I've got plenty more hidden treasures to reveal, and trust me, you won't want to miss out. Now, go check your pennies. Who knows? You might be the next lucky collector to cash in big. Alright, picture this. You're digging through your old coin jar, maybe even that stash of pennies collecting dust in the cup holder of your car. You pull out a random one, glance at it, and toss it aside because, hey, it's just a penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that one tiny little 1960 Lincoln penny, yes, the one with that small d under the date, could be worth $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1 million penny. Imagine buying a cup of coffee with it and then realizing you just gave away a small fortune. So, how does an ordinary-looking penny become insanely valuable? Well, sit tight because we're about to break it all down. From what makes the 1960 penny so special to how you can spot one in your own pocket change, we're diving into everything you need to know. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. And now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. How can it possibly be worth over $1 million? Well, my friend, the answer lies in a tiny little mistake at the US Mint. Back in 1960, the Denver Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies like there was no tomorrow. But something went wrong with the dies they were using. Some of the coins were struck with what's called a small date over large date error. Basically, they used two different date styles, and some pennies ended up with one date stamped right over the other. It's subtle, but collectors go absolutely nuts over stuff like this. Most people don't even realize they have one. That means there could be one sitting in a coin jar somewhere, just waiting to be discovered. Okay, so let me tell you about the time I almost made the dumbest financial decision of my life. A while back, I was going through some old coins, not really expecting to find anything special. I had a bunch of pennies, some nickels, a rogue Chuck E. Cheese token, classic random change jar contents, but then I spotted a 1960 penny. And I'll be honest, I nearly chucked it in the spend pile. It wasn't until I took a second look that I noticed something weird about the date. Long story short, I did some digging, and sure enough, I had a rare small date over large date variety. Was it the $1 million one? Unfortunately, no. But it was still worth a few $100. How many people have done the same thing? How many $1 million pennies have been casually spent at gas stations or tossed into tip jars? Alright, now for the good stuff. How do you know if you've got one of these rare pennies? Here's what to look for: it should have a D under the year. No D? That's a Philadelphia mint coin, and while those can be valuable too, we're focusing on Denver today. The rare variety has the small date stamped over a large date. It's a bit tricky to see with the naked eye, so grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom function. Pennies come in different shades. A bright red penny in mint condition is way more valuable than a dull brown one. Now, let's talk numbers. The absolute best condition 1960D small date over large date penny ever found sold for a whopping $1.3 million at auction. But even if yours isn't quite that perfect, it could still be worth thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands, depending on the grade. If you think you've got one, don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. Get it authenticated and graded by a professional coin service like PCGS or NGC. A tiny grade difference can mean the difference between a few $100 and a life-changing amount of money. Seriously, I know it's tempting, but collectors prefer them in their natural, unaltered state. Don't assume it's fake. A lot of people find rare coins and don't believe they're real. Always double-check before dismissing it. If you've got a valuable one, take your time, research auction houses, and get multiple opinions on its worth. Conclusion and call to action are the incredible $1 million story of the 1960D Lincoln penny. Who would have thought that something so small could be worth so much? If this doesn't make you want to dig through your loose change, I don't know what will. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins and how to spot valuable ones, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got tons of tips coming your way, from hidden treasures in your pocket change to strategies for collecting valuable coins. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or almost spent one like me, and share this with your friends. You never know, they might have $1 million penny sitting in their piggy bank. Alright, picture this: you're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find some spare change for a soda. You fish out a few pennies, a couple of dimes, maybe even a crumpled up dollar bill. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, just an ordinary looking 1977 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard me right. That tiny copper coin you almost tossed aside might be more valuable than a brand new sports car, a luxury vacation, or even your mortgage. So today, we're diving deep into the mystery of this $1 million penny. What makes it so special? How can you tell if you've got one? And most importantly, how do you cash in if you're one of the lucky ones? Stick around because this is one coin story you don't want to miss. Now, if you're like most people, you probably think all pennies are basically the same. They've got Lincoln's face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, at least until they changed it in 2009, and they're worth, well, a penny. But oh no, my friend, this is where things get interesting. The 1977 penny we're talking about is missing something crucial: a mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia around this time didn't have a mint mark, so at first glance, this one doesn't seem unusual. But here's where the magic happens: some of these no mint mark pennies were struck using a rare, high-quality die that resulted in an ultra-sharp design and an unusual composition. Experts believe a few experimental coins slipped out of the mint, making them incredibly rare, and when something is rare in the coin collecting world, you better believe collectors go absolutely bananas for it. Okay, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old desk. He had jars and jars of pennies, like the kind of collection that makes you question how long someone has been hoarding spare change. So there I was, mindlessly sorting through these pennies when I came across a shiny 1977 penny with no mint mark. I remember thinking, this looks kind of cool, but then I just tossed it back into the jar without a second thought. A few weeks later, I stumbled across an article about the ultra-rare 1977 penny worth over $1 million. My heart stopped. I ran back to my grandpa's house, dug through that same jar, and of course, the penny was gone. Always check your change. You never know when you're holding onto a small fortune. Now that I've got your attention, let's talk about how you can tell if your 1977 penny is the one that could change your life. Here's what you need to look for. This is key. If it has a D or an S, sorry, But you're out of luck. The rare versions of this penny were struck with an ultra-high quality die, meaning the details on Lincoln's face and hair are extra crisp. The rare ones were made of a slightly different metal composition, so if you have a precise scale, weigh your penny. It should be exactly 3.11 grams. Coins in near perfect condition, also known as mint state or MS, fetch the highest prices. If yours looks like it's been run over by a truck, the value drops, but hey, even a worn-out one could still be worth a good chunk of change. It's all about supply and demand, baby. There are only a handful of these ultra-rare 1977 pennies known to exist, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to own one. In a recent auction, one of these bad boys sold for over $1 million. The price keeps climbing because, well, people love rare coins. And let's be real, who wouldn't want to turn a 1-cent coin into $1 million? Alright, so let's say you hit the jackpot and you've got a rare 1977 penny in your hand. What now? Here's how to cash in. Don't just throw it up on eBay and hope for the best. You'll need a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify it's legit. High-end coin auctions and specialty coin dealers are the way to go. Trust me, you don't want to accidentally sell it for 50 cents at a yard sale. Remember, just because a coin is valued at $1.4 million doesn't mean that's what you'll get. Be patient and work with a reputable dealer to get the best price. The incredible, mind-blowing story of the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could be hiding in your pocket right now. If you've got some spare change lying around, take a second look. Who knows? You might be holding a tiny treasure worth a life-changing amount of money. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin hunting tips, crazy coin stories, and valuable finds coming your way. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to go digging through your piggy bank right now. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. Have you ever looked at the change in your pocket and thought, nah, just a bunch of pennies, nothing special? Well, you might want to check again. Because today, we're talking about a 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that is worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. One single penny could turn you into a millionaire. I know what you're thinking, a 1998 penny? That's not even old. And that's exactly why this story is so crazy, what to look for so you don't accidentally spend a fortune on a pack of gum, and of course, how you can potentially cash in on this rare find. So grab your piggy bank, dump out that jar of change, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, just browsing through old books, random knickknacks, and, of course, a jar of coins sitting on a dusty table. The guy running the sale joked, "Take the whole jar for $5, who knows, maybe there's a rare coin in there." I laughed, but I bought it anyway. Later that night, I poured out the coins and started checking for anything unusual. And guess what? I didn't find a rare penny worth millions, but I did find a wheat penny from 1943, which was still worth a decent amount. You never know what you might have. And that brings us to today's star, the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Alright, so why is a 1998 penny, which is barely over 2 decades old, fetching such a massive price? There are a few reasons. Most pennies made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so that alone isn't super rare. But here's the kicker, some 1998 pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, the blank metal disc used to make coins. A few of these slipped past quality control, and now they're considered major collector's items. This is where things get even crazier. Some 1998 pennies have a spacing issue between the A and the M in America on the back. Normally, they're close together, but on these error coins, there's a noticeable gap. Coin collectors go absolutely wild for this kind of thing. If you happen to have a 1998 no-mint mark penny with the white AM error in mint condition, you might just be holding onto a small fortune. The highest graded versions have sold for up to $1.5 million at auction. Now, let's get practical. Here's what you need to do to see if you have one of these rare pennies. Look at the word America. If the A and M are touching, it's a regular penny. If there's a noticeable gap, you might be in luck. The less damage, the more valuable it is. If yours looks like it just rolled out of the mint, it's worth getting checked by a professional. Step 3. Consider getting it graded. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can tell you if you have a jackpot coin, where to sell it. You don't just take it to your local grocery store and hope the cashier gives you $1 million in change, right? Here's where to sell it. To sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Stacksbowers regularly list rare coins. Find a reputable dealer who can give you an appraisal. These are great places to meet collectors willing to pay top dollar. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. We started with an ordinary penny and ended up with $1 million payday. Just goes to show you never know what's hiding in your pocket change, especially the 1998 no mint mark ones. Look for the wide AM error. If you find one in great condition, get it graded and sell smart. Never assume a penny is just a penny, because that little copper coin might just be your golden ticket. Now, before you go, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button for more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and strategies to turn pocket change into real money. And if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Hey there, coin lovers and curious minds. What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, one that might be sitting in your pocket right now, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? Sounds crazy, right? Well, today, we're diving into the surprising value of the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and why collectors are shelling out life-changing money for it. Now, before you go flipping over every penny you've ever owned, let me warn you, finding one of these isn't as easy as digging through your couch cushions, but it's not impossible either. In this video, I'll break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just strike it rich. And stick around till the end, because I'll also share a funny story about the time I almost threw away a rare coin. Yeah, big mistake. First, let's talk about what no mint mark even means. Normally, US pennies have a small letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and if there's nothing there, it usually means it was made in Philadelphia. However, the 1984 penny is an oddball. Some of these pennies from Philadelphia were mistakenly struck without a mint mark, making them extremely rare, but here's where it gets even more interesting. Some of these pennies also have an error known as the double ear Lincoln error, which, yes, means that Honest Abe looks like he's got an extra ear. If you find a no mint mark penny with this error in top condition, congratulations, you're sitting on a $1.6 million jackpot. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would someone pay $1 million for a penny? Well, coin collectors, or numismatists, if you want to sound fancy at parties, love coins with it because mistakes are worth money. Wish my boss felt the same way. The 1984 no mint mark penny is a unique piece of US minting history. The cleaner and shinier it is, the more it's worth. The thing about rare coins is that their value skyrockets when collectors compete at auctions. In 2023, one of these bad boys sold for $1.6 million, and who knows, the next one could go for even more. You never know where one might be hiding. Look for that no mint mark in the double. Grab a magnifying glass and inspect closely. If you think you found one, get it authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can verify if it's the real deal. If you ever find one, don't spend it on a candy bar. Trust me, that'd be the most expensive mistake of your life. Alright, story time. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic, and we found an old tin full of pennies. Being the coin geek that I am, I started looking through them. Guess what I found? I was freaking out. My mind was already spending the money, maybe a new car, maybe a trip to Hawaii. But guess what? I was so excited, I accidentally dropped the coin, and it rolled right into a floor vent. Yeah. I spent 2 hours trying to fish it out with a wire hanger and some duct tape. Finally got it back, took it to a coin shop, and, turns out, it was just a regular 1984 penny. No errors. Worth exactly 1 cent. The 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny with the double ear error is worth a fortune. If you've got one, you might just be sitting on $1.6 million without even realizing it. Seriously, grab that old coin jar, check the change in your car, and take a second look at every 1984 penny you find. You never know, you might just be holding a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more tips on rare coins that could make you rich. I post new videos all the time about valuable coins, collecting strategies, and crazy auction stories, so don't miss out. Also, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Have you ever made a big coin-related mistake like I did? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, not worth my time? Well, what if I told you that one little penny from 1964 could be worth a life-changing $1.7 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single, ordinary-looking coin that might be sitting in your jar of loose change could be your ticket to early retirement. Yes, really. And today, I'm going to break down exactly why the 1964 D Lincoln penny is worth a fortune, what to look for, and how you might have one hiding in your collection. So, before you rush off to check your piggy bank, stick around because I'm about to share some valuable secrets that could make you some serious cash. The story behind the 1964 D Lincoln penny. Back in 1964, life was a little different. Gas was 30 cents a gallon, the Beatles were taking over America, and kids were actually playing outside instead of staring at screens all day. Crazy, right? But while all that was happening, something interesting was going on at the Denver Mint. The US Mint was pumping out millions of pennies, but among them were a few rare gems, 1964 D Lincoln pennies with special errors and high-grade conditions that now make them worth a fortune. Now, I actually have a funny story about this. A couple of years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. You know, one of those all-day events where you find weird stuff like old baseball cards, broken radios, and at least 3 hammers because, for some reason, every dad and grandpa hoards hammers. Well, in one of those dusty old coffee cans filled with loose change, we found a bunch of pennies. And my grandpa, being the kind of guy who saves everything, told me, "You never know, kid, some of these might be worth something." At the time, I laughed it off. But later, when I started learning about coin values, I realized he might have been right. I went back and checked, and while I didn't find the jackpot, I did find a few wheat pennies worth a decent chunk of change. But ever since then, I've been obsessed with finding that one rare penny that could change everything. So, what's the deal? Why is this particular penny worth $1.7 million? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated, meaning they look as good as the day they are, way more valuable than those that have been passed around for decades. A perfect 1964 D penny in a high grade can be worth thousands, but one in near perfect condition is where the big bucks come in. Some 1964 D pennies were struck with double dies, off-center strikes, or other weird minting mistakes. These errors make them super valuable because collectors go crazy for unique misprints. Even though millions of these pennies were made, very few have survived in top-notch condition. That's what makes them rare and valuable. Think of it like baseball cards. Sure, tons were printed, but how many rookie cards of legends are still in mint condition? Not many. Okay, so now you're probably itching to dig through your coin jar, right? Here's what you need to look for the D mint mark just below the year 1964. That means it was made in Denver. If it's shiny, has sharp details, and doesn't have a lot of scratches or wear, you might have something special. Look for errors like double die obverse, DDO, where the text or Lincoln's features appear slightly doubled. If it looks promising, take it to a professional grader or a coin dealer to get it appraised. Where can you sell a valuable penny? So, let's say you hit the jackpot and find one of these rare pennies. What now? Here are some options. Big collectors are always watching major coin auctions for rare finds. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and PCGS are great places to list valuable coins. Sometimes, selling in person to a collector or dealer can get you a better deal, but whatever you do, don't just sell it to the first person who offers you a few bucks. Get it graded and verified first. You don't want to be the guy who accidentally gives away $1 million coin for pocket change. 1. Never underestimate the value of a penny. 2. If you have a grandpa who saves everything, check his coin stash immediately. And 3. You never know when a little piece of history could turn into life-changing money. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare or valuable coin? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you like this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new tip on how to turn pocket change into a fortune. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at the pennies in your pocket and thought, just a penny, nothing special? Well, hold on to your hats because today, we're talking about a 2017 D Lincoln penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. That's right, one single penny worth more than a mansion, a sports car, or a lifetime supply of coffee, which, let's be honest, is the real dream. How can a 2017 penny be worth that much? It's basically brand new. Well, my friends, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to uncover what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you might have one hiding in your loose change right now. And hey, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we talk about rare coins, valuable finds, and all things money related. Who doesn't love the idea of turning a penny into a fortune? The story behind the 2017 D Lincoln penny. Alright, so why is the 2017 D Lincoln penny so special? I mean, we all know the standard Lincoln penny, it's been around since 1909. But in 2017, something weird happened at the Denver Mint. A small batch of pennies came out with a super rare error that skyrocketed their value. Let's call him Mike, was sorting through some pocket change while waiting for his coffee. Now, Mike isn't a coin collector, he's just a guy who wanted to get rid of some coins weighing down his wallet. But then, he noticed something weird on one of the pennies. The design looked slightly off. Instead of tossing it into the tip jar, he thought, let's Google this real quick. That little penny he almost gave away was one of the rare 2017 D-era pennies. He got it graded and later sold it at an auction for over $1 million. Imagine going in for a $5 coffee and walking out with a fortune. The secret behind its $1.8 million value. Here's the deal. The 2017 D Lincoln penny with the rare error has a double die obverse, which means the design on the front of the coin was struck twice, creating a slightly blurry or doubled effect, especially noticeable on Lincoln's eye, nose, and the date. Misalignment at the mint, and only a handful of these pennies made it into circulation. Some of these error pennies also have an off-center strike or a die break, two other rare mistakes that make them even more valuable. And now, here's the crazy part. The highest graded example of this penny sold for $1.8 million because it was in perfect condition. The shinier and less worn the coin, the more money it's worth. So if you find one, don't just toss it into a vending machine, treat it like the tiny golden ticket that it is. Look for a 2017 penny with a small d under the date. That means it was minted in Denver. Use a magnifying glass and check Lincoln's face, especially his eye and nose. If they look slightly blurry or doubled, bingo. If the design looks slightly shifted, that's another sign of value. These appear as small raised lines or marks on the coin. If you find one, don't clean it. Cleaning a rare coin can actually lower its value. Instead, put it in a safe place and get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This is where most rare coins sell for top dollar. If you know how to list it properly, you might get some solid offers. Some dealers will make an offer on the spot. The longer you hold onto a rare coin, the more its value could increase. A 2017 D Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.8 million. Who knew a tiny little copper coin could be worth more than a Ferrari? Now, before you run off to dig through your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we've got plenty more videos coming on rare coins, money-making tips, and crazy finds. And hey, if you do find one of these pennies, drop a comment below. Who knows? You might just be the next lucky person. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny and thought, man, just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that a single 1964 D Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yeah, that's right, 1 cent could be worth more than a house, a luxury car, or a lifetime supply of tacos. You might be thinking, come on, how can a 1964 penny be worth that much? It's just a regular coin, right? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving deep into the wild world of coin collecting, spotting rare pennies, and maybe even helping you become a millionaire without winning the lottery. And stick around, because I've got a hilarious story about how I almost spent a valuable penny on a gas station hot dog. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. 1964 was a pretty eventful year. The Beatles were taking over the world, the first Mustang rolled off the production line, and somewhere in Denver, a little copper penny was being minted, completely unaware that it would one day be worth more than most people's life savings. The 1964 D Lincoln penny is special for a few key reasons. Some of these pennies have doubling on the date, the lettering, or even Abe Lincoln's face. If you've got one with a clear double die error, congratulations, you're sitting on a gold mine, or should I say, a copper mine. Most pennies get scratched, scuffed, and tossed into vending machines. But if you have a 1964 D penny in mint condition, graded MS67 or higher, it could be worth a fortune. Unlike modern pennies that are mostly zinc, 1964 pennies are 95% copper, making them a favorite among collectors. And with copper prices rising, even common ones are worth more than just a penny. What to look for in your 1964 D penny? Alright, so let's say you've got a 1964 D penny sitting in a jar, under your couch, or maybe even in your pocket right now. How do you know if it's the $1 million penny? Here's what to check. The Denver Mint produced millions of these, but only a select few have rare errors. The sharper the details on Lincoln's hair, beard, and bow tie, the higher the grade. If your penny looks like it's been through a rock tumbler, it's probably not worth much. But if it looks fresh off the mint, you might be in business. If the date or the words "In God We Trust" look like they have a shadow, that's a good sign. Why personal coin collecting fail? Okay, story time. A few years ago, I was digging through my old change jar, and I found a 1964 D penny. I had no idea about coin values at the time, so what did I do? I used it to buy a gas station hot dog. Yep. I spent what could have been a valuable penny on a questionable piece of meat. If that penny had been a rare one, I could have been sitting on thousands of dollars instead of sitting in regret. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Current market value of the 1964 D penny. Now, let's talk money. How much is this little copper beauty actually worth today? Maybe a few cents. A few dollars to a couple hundred. High-grade uncirculated pennies? We're talking thousands. That's where we hit the big leagues. $1.1 million. Yes, a 1964 D Lincoln penny sold at auction for that much because it was in near perfect condition and had a rare error. That's why people are obsessed with coin collecting. You never know what could be hiding in plain sight. So, the next time you find a 1964 D penny, don't just toss it aside. Check for errors, check its condition, and who knows? You might just have $1 million penny sitting in your pocket. And remember my hot dog tragedy: don't spend your pennies without checking them first. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip on finding hidden treasure in your pocket change. Have you ever found a rare or valuable coin? Drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your stories. Alright, happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe looking for a vending machine snack or just trying to get rid of some change, and bam, you come across a 1973 penny. You think, just another regular OL penny, but what if I told you that tiny, copper-colored coin in your hand could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million? Yep, you heard me right. A 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could actually make you a millionaire overnight. But how? Why? And most importantly, could you have one sitting in your collection right now without even knowing it? Stick around because today, we're breaking down exactly what makes this coin so valuable, the features you need to look for, and, of course, how you can cash in if you've got one. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be rating every coin jar, couch cushion, and old piggy bank in sight. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe for more videos on rare and valuable coins, because let's be honest, who doesn't want to make money off pocket change? Now, let's get one thing straight: not every 1973 no-mint mark penny is worth millions. Otherwise, we'd all be rich, right? So, what makes some of these pennies so ridiculously valuable? The first thing to know is that the no-mint mark part means that this penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark at the time. So, if you have a 1973 penny without a mint mark, that's totally normal. But here's where things get interesting: a small number of these pennies were struck using the wrong planchet. That's the metal disc that coins are made from. Instead of using the usual copper zinc mix, some of these coins were mistakenly struck on pure copper planchets, left over from previous years. And let's just say, the coin world loves these kinds of mistakes. The most valuable 1973 no-mint mark penny ever sold was one of these rare error coins, and it fetched a jaw-dropping $1.2 million at auction. That's right, a single penny. Let that sink in. How to tell if you have a $1.2 million penny. Alright, so now that we've got your attention, let's talk about how to tell if you've got one of these super valuable coins. Regular 1973 pennies weigh 3.11 grams, but if you have one that weighs 3.2 grams or more, that could be a sign that it was struck on the wrong planchet. A simple kitchen scale can help you check. If your 1973 penny has a brighter, almost reddish appearance compared to other pennies from that year, it might be a rare variation. Sometimes, error pennies have slightly wider or smoother edges due to the different planchet material. If you think you have a rare one, don't just toss it in your change jar, get it professionally graded. A certified coin expert can confirm whether you have a high-value error penny. I used to completely ignore pennies. I mean, let's be real, we see them everywhere, and most people don't even bother picking them up off the ground. But after I heard about these crazy valuable pennies, I started checking my change religiously. One day, I was at my grandma's house, and she handed me this huge jar of old pennies she had been collecting since the 60s. I spent hours sorting through them, feeling like some kind of treasure hunter. I didn't find a $1 million penny, bummer, I know, but I did come across a 1955 double-die penny, which, spoiler alert, was worth a couple $1,000. Moral of the story? Check your pennies, people. You never know what you might find. Big names like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers regularly handle rare coin sales. Websites like PCGS, NGC, or even eBay, for smaller finds, can be great places to sell. If you want a quick sale, a reputable coin shop in your area might be able to help. If you think you have a valuable coin, do not clean it. Cleaning a rare penny can actually lower its value. Let the pros handle it. Your pocket change could be hiding $1 million surprise. The 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might seem like just another coin, but in reality, it could change your life. So, the next time you get a penny in your change, don't ignore it, check it. Look at the date, the weight, the details, and who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on finding hidden treasures in your pocket change. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds alike. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, perhaps looking for that elusive vending machine dollar, when suddenly, you stumble upon a 2016 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. You think, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that this little copper coin could be worth, drumroll, please, a whopping $1.3 million? Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million for a single cent. Intrigued? Well, stick around, because today we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 2016 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks and raiding your couch cushions, let's get one thing straight: not every 2016 penny is going to make you a millionaire. In fact, the vast majority of them are worth, well, about a penny. According to Cointrackers.com, a standard 2016 Shield penny in average condition is worth exactly 1 cent. Even in mint state, it might fetch around $7.50. So, what's all this buzz about a $1.3 million penny? The truth is, there isn't any verified record of a 2016 penny selling for such an astronomical amount. However, certain rare pennies have fetched high prices at auctions. For instance, a unique off-metal 1943 copper cent sold for $1.7 million in 2010. But as for our 2016 penny, while it might not make you a millionaire, there are still some fascinating aspects to consider. Point 1: of the key factors that can increase a coin's value is the presence of errors. These are like the Easter eggs of the coin world, unintended mistakes that make a coin unique. For the 2016 penny, some of these errors include misplaced mint marks, die cracks, and double-ear errors. For example, in 2020, a 2016 Lincoln penny with a misplaced mint mark error, graded MS60, sold for an impressive $415. Another instance is a 2016 Lincoln penny with a double-ear error listed on eBay for $195. Now, you might be wondering, how do I spot these errors? Well, it's time to channel your inner Sherlock Holmes. Grab a magnifying glass and examine your penny closely. Look for anomalies like doubling of design elements, misaligned mint marks, or unusual cracks. These subtle quirks can significantly boost your coin's value. Let me share a little personal anecdote. A few years back, I was sorting through a jar of pennies. Yes, I lead an exciting life, and I stumbled upon a 2016 penny with what appeared to be a slight doubling on Lincoln's ear. My heart raced faster than a kid on a sugar high. Could this be the jackpot? I sent it off for grading, dreams of riches dancing in my head. A few weeks later, I got the verdict: it was a minor die error, worth about $50. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, it was a thrilling ride. While finding $1 million penny is about as likely as finding a unicorn, there's real value in paying attention to the coins that pass through your hands. Plus, it's a hobby that combines history, art, and the thrill of the hunt. Before we wrap up, here's a fun fact: the Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, making it the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. Wikipedia: over the years, there have been numerous design changes and errors, each adding a unique chapter to the coin's story. So, next time you come across a penny, take a moment to appreciate its journey. Who knows? With a keen eye and a bit of luck, you might just discover a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to learn more about spotting valuable coins, rare errors, and the stories behind everyday currency, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover the hidden gems in our pockets together. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this, you're digging through your pocket change, maybe fishing for a quarter for a vending machine, and you pull out a regular old penny. But what if I told you that one single, ordinary-looking penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1 million penny. Sounds crazy, right? Well, today, we're diving into one of the most surprising coins out there, the 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and why collectors are willing to pay insane amounts for it. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to want to check every single penny lying around your house. So grab your old coin jar, and let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the obvious question: how the heck does a 1-cent coin end up being worth over $1 million? Well, it all comes down to errors, rarity, and collector demand. See, in 1984, the US Mint made a little oopsie when striking certain pennies. Some of these coins came out with what's known as the double die obverse error. That's just a fancy way of saying that the lettering, especially the Liberty inscription and Lincoln's ear, looks slightly doubled. And collectors go absolutely nuts over errors like this because they're rare. Most people have no idea what to look for, which means these valuable pennies are still out there, hiding in people's drawers, piggy banks, and couch cushions. I mean, how many times have you just tossed a penny aside without even glancing at it? Yeah, that habit might just cost you $1 million, so why is this one worth a staggering $1.4 million when other 1984 pennies are only worth a cent? Great question. The value of a coin depends on a few key things, so the shinier and less worn, the better. A mint state or uncirculated 1984 penny is like finding a rare baseball card in pristine condition. The more dramatic the doubling, the higher the value. Some have slight doubling, but the best ones have a really clear doubling effect on the letters and Lincoln's ear. There aren't that many of these pennies in top condition, and as collectors compete to own one, the price skyrockets. The story of someone who struck it rich. Let me tell you a quick story, this one still blows my mind. A guy, just your average coin collector, was sorting through his spare change one evening while watching TV. He had no idea that a simple penny could be worth anything. But as he looked closer, he noticed something weird about the letters on the penny. After doing a quick online search, he realized he was holding one of the rare 1984 double die pennies. He sent it off to a grading company, and when the results came back, boom, mint state condition, and eventually, it sold at an auction for over $1.40 million. Can you imagine that? Finding life-changing money sitting in your coin jar? That's like winning the lottery, but without spending a single dollar on tickets. Okay, so now I know what you're thinking: how do I know if I have one of these valuable pennies? Here's a simple way to check. If it says 1984 and doesn't have a mint mark under the year, it's time to take a closer look. Grab a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone. If his ear looks doubled, that's a good sign. If the letters look slightly blurry or doubled, you might just be holding a jackpot. If you think you have one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity. What to do if you find one? Boom, you find what looks like the famous 1984 double die penny. What do you do next? Do not clean it. I know, it's tempting to make it look nice and shiny, but cleaning a coin actually lowers its value. Collectors want them in their natural state. Put it in a protective case to avoid damage. Get it appraised by a professional coin dealer or grading service. Consider selling it at an auction where collectors will bid against each other, driving the price higher. So, let's recap. A tiny little penny from 1984, one that most people wouldn't even look twice at, could be worth a staggering $1.4 million. And the craziest part? There are still more of them out there, waiting to be found. Go check your penny stash. Seriously, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And if you do find one, don't forget to come back and tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on another coin worth big money. I post videos like this all the time, helping you turn your spare change into serious cash. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. You never know, you might just be holding the next $1 million penny in your pocket right now. Hey there, coin lovers. Have you ever found a penny in your pocket, shrugged, and tossed it into a jar, thinking, it's just a penny? Well, today, I'm about to change the way you look at pennies forever, especially the 1996 D. Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, one of these little guys is worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny, worth more than a mansion, a fleet of fancy cars, or an all-expenses-paid trip around the world. So, before you spend that change on a gumball, you might want to check your pockets. In this video, we're diving deep into why this seemingly ordinary penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what to do if you find one. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick around, because if you find one, your life could change in an instant. More than just a penny. First things first, what makes this coin so special? I mean, the US Mint cranks out pennies like crazy, so why is this one worth a fortune? Well, the 1996 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, hence the little D Mint mark just below the date. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1996 D pennies are created equal. There are a few rare variations and errors that make certain ones insanely valuable. And that's where collectors go absolutely nuts. Rare errors that could make you rich. Now, let's talk about what to look for. Some of the most valuable 1996 D pennies have these key errors. This means the design was struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling in Lincoln's face, the lettering, or the date. If you spot this, don't just throw that penny in your coin jar, get it checked out. If your penny looks like it was stamped halfway off the planchet, that's the blank metal disc used to make coins. It could be worth serious cash. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Coins naturally darken over time, but a well-preserved 1996 D penny with its original bright red luster is much rarer and can fetch top dollar. And now, I know what you're thinking, how do I even begin to check for these errors? Well, let me tell you about the time I almost lost a fortune because I didn't check my change carefully. Nothing fancy, just one of those classic spots with greasy burgers and unlimited coffee refills. I paid for my meal in cash, which I almost never do, and I got a handful of change back. I noticed one penny looked a little shinier than the others, but I didn't think much of it. I absent-mindedly tossed it into my car's cup holder and went about my day. Fast forward a couple of months, and I start getting into coin collecting. One night, I'm watching an auction, and I see a 1996 D penny, just like the one I had to sell for over $1 million. I immediately sprinted to my car like a lunatic, dug through the cup holder, and guess what? It was gone. Probably spent on a pack of gum. I nearly cried. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Alright, let's get down to the numbers. While your average 1996 D penny is worth just a cent, rare error versions have sold for insane amounts. A high-grade, mint condition 1996 D penny with no errors might sell $4.50 $100. A double die or off-center strike can fetch anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000, depending on how dramatic the error is. A perfect, ultra-rare error 1996 D penny with a combination of factors, including a misstrike, full red luster, and sharp doubling, can reach $1.5 million at auction. That's life-changing money for a single penny. Literally, do you have one of these in your pocket right now? Because if you do, you might just be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Before you go, let me give you a quick strategy to find valuable pennies. Don't just dump it into a jar. Take a close look before spending it. Invest in a magnifying glass. Some errors are tiny, and you don't want to miss them. Hold on to unique-looking pennies. Even if you're unsure, set them aside and research them later. If you think you've struck gold, get a professional opinion. Alright, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more coin hunting tips, rare finds, and strategies to turn your pocket change into serious cash. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and accidental millionaires in the making. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some loose change to grab a coffee, and you pull out a penny. No big deal, right? Just 1 cent. But what if I told you that little copper coin in your hand could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.60 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're diving into the insane story behind the 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, how an ordinary-looking penny turned out to be a hidden fortune, and how you, yes you, might just have one sitting in your pocket right now. Make sure to stick around because I'm going to break down exactly what makes this coin so special, how to spot it, and most importantly, how you can turn it into serious cash. And trust me, you won't want to miss my personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny, only to learn my lesson the hard way. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's talk pennies that can make you a millionaire. What's the deal with this 2019 Lincoln penny? It looks like every other penny, right? Well, not exactly. Most pennies from 2019 have a little letter under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if yours has no mint mark at all, congratulations. You might be holding a rare error coin, and collectors are throwing down big money to get their hands on it. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Some of these 2019 no-mint mark pennies have a rare doubling error, meaning certain parts of the design, like Lincoln's face or the words "In God We Trust," appear slightly doubled. This is called a doubled die error, and let me tell you, collectors go absolutely wild for these. Okay, you might be thinking, well, if it's just a regular penny without a mint mark, there must be millions of them. And you'd be right, there are plenty of 2019 pennies out there. But the ones that are worth serious cash are the ones with that specific error. One of these rare error pennies sold at auction for $1.6 million, all because of a minor mistake at the US Mint. That's the kind of mistake we all wish we could make, right? If it says 2019 and has no mint mark underneath, that's step 1. Use a magnifying glass or your phone's camera to zoom in on Lincoln's profile, the lettering, and the numbers. If anything looks slightly doubled, you're in business. Some of these valuable pennies were struck on the wrong type of planchet, meaning they're heavier or lighter than a normal penny. A standard penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is different, get it checked out. Coins in mint condition, shiny, no scratches, are worth way more than ones that have been rolling around in a parking lot. The one that got away now, let me tell you about the time I almost made the biggest mistake of my life. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my car, emptying out old receipts, gum wrappers, and of course, a handful of pennies. I was this close to tossing them all into a Coinstar machine when something caught my eye. It was a shiny 2019 penny with no mint mark. I thought, I'll hang on to it, just in case. Fast forward a few weeks, I saw a news article about a 2019 no mint mark penny selling for over $1 million. My heart dropped. I ran to my desk, grabbed the penny, and took a closer look. Turns out, mine was just a regular penny. No error, no special features, just 1 cent. But it taught me a valuable lesson: always check your change, because you never know when you're sitting on a small fortune. That little copper coin in your pocket could be worth more than your car, your rent, or even your entire college tuition. If you find a 2019 no mint mark penny with errors, get it graded ASAP. Contact a coin expert, list it for auction, and who knows? You might just join the ranks of lucky people who turn pocket change into a payday. Now, before you go rummaging through your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more hidden coin treasures. I'll be back soon with more crazy stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and tips to make money from collecting. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth $1.70 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're diving into the incredible, mind-blowing story of the 2000 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with a big price tag. And now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, did I just spend one of those at the gas station yesterday? Maybe, maybe not. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for so you don't accidentally give away a fortune in pocket change. Stick around, because I'll also share a hilarious story about how I almost lost a valuable coin in the most ridiculous way possible. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Alright, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's talk about why this 2000 Lincoln penny is breaking records and making collectors go absolutely nuts. Okay, let's get into the juicy details. First off, the 2000 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the kicker: not all of them are worth millions. Only a select few have special characteristics that make collectors go, shut up and take my money. This penny has a rare die misprint that collectors are obsessed with. Some of them have a doubled die, where the text and details appear slightly duplicated. Others have a weak or missing design due to a worn-out die. If you spot one of these errors, congratulations, you might be holding a jackpot in your hand. If your penny looks like it's been run over by a shopping cart 15 times, it's probably not worth much. But if it's in mint condition, with sharp details and barely any scratches, that's where the big bucks come in. Coin collectors love rare finds. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just valuable because of its rarity, it's valuable because people are willing to pay crazy money to own one. Alright, now let's talk about how you can check your pennies at home. No, you don't need a fancy microscope or a lab coat, just your eyes, a magnifying glass, if you have one, and maybe a little patience. If your penny has a D or an S below the date, sorry, it's not the $1 million one. You need the one with no mint mark at all. Sometimes, small mistakes make a huge difference. Step 3. Check the condition. If it's shiny and looks fresh out of the mint, you might have a winner. The best way to know for sure? Get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let me tell you a personal story that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car because, let's be honest, it was basically a mobile trash can at that point. I was scooping up loose change, old receipts, and a couple of mystery French fries from who knows when. I had this one penny that looked kinda weird, but I didn't think much of it. So what did I do? I threw it in the cup holder, where it sat for months. Fast forward to one day when I needed exact change for coffee. Yep, you guessed it. I spent that penny without a second thought. A few weeks later, I was doing research on valuable coins and realized that penny might have been worth a fortune. To this day, I will never know if I handed a barista a $1.7 million tip. So let this be a lesson: always check your change before spending it. Alright, my fellow coin hunters, that's the crazy story of the 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny and why it could make you a millionaire overnight. Who knew that something so small and ordinary could be worth so much? Check your change. That one penny sitting in your drawer could be life-changing. Get it graded. If you find a no mint mark 2000 penny in great condition, take it to an expert. Stay subscribed. If you love learning about hidden treasures and everyday coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or if you've ever had a close call with a rare coin, drop a comment below and let me know. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket that's worth more than a Lamborghini. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up because today we're talking about the 1976 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks like everyday change but could secretly be worth $1.80 million. That's right. This little copper coin from 1976 is making people rich, and if you have one, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Today, we're diving deep into what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to have one. And stick around till the end. I've got a wild personal story about a time I almost threw away a valuable penny. Let's just say it still haunts me to this day. The story behind the 1976 Lincoln penny. Let's take a quick trip back to 1976. The US was celebrating its bicentennial, people were rocking bell bottoms, and disco was still a thing. It was a time of celebration, and the US Mint was busy cranking out coins, including the 1976 Lincoln penny. And now, most of these pennies were just regular old copper coins. But some of them? They turned out to be million-dollar treasures. So why are some 1976 pennies worth so much? Well, it all comes down to minting errors, rare variations, and collector demand. Not every 1976 penny is going to make you a millionaire, so what makes the valuable ones stand out? Some 1976 pennies were mistakenly struck on silver planchets instead of copper. If you find one of these, you just hit the jackpot. Double diabers. This means the coin has a doubling effect on Lincoln's face or the lettering. If you see a weird shadow effect, you might have something valuable. Superb condition. Coins that are in mint condition, meaning they look almost brand new, are worth way more. If yours has never been circulated, you're in luck. A full red, RD, designation. Copper coins can have different color grades: red, brown, or a mix. A full red penny is the rarest and most valuable. One of these rare pennies sold for $1.8 million at an auction, and experts believe there could be more hiding out there. So, before you spend that penny on a pack of gum, take a closer look. Alright, so how do you check if your penny is worth a small fortune? First, look for the D mint mark. It should be right below the date. If the design looks off, that's a good sign. Weigh it. A normal penny from 1976 should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly different, it could be a rare error coin. Use a magnifying glass. Look closely for doubling effects on Lincoln's face or the lettering. Get it graded. If you think you have something special, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it officially evaluated. And now, let me tell you a personal story that still makes me cringe. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old coin jar. I wasn't really into collecting at the time, so I just dumped a bunch of pennies into one of those Coinstar machines. I must have exchanged about $20 worth of pennies for some quick cash. A few weeks later, I started getting into coin collecting and realized I might have thrown away a super rare penny without even checking. To this day, I still wonder if I accidentally gave away a $1.8 million penny for a couple of bucks. Lesson learned: always check your change. The 1976 D Lincoln penny could be worth $1.8 million if it has the right errors or variations. Check your pennies before you spend them. You never know what hidden treasures are out there. If you think you have a valuable coin, get it authenticated and graded. And if you love learning about rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I drop new videos every week about coins that could make you rich, collecting strategies, and how to spot valuable coins in your pocket change. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next time you see a penny on the ground, pick it up. It might just change your life. Alright, imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to grab a coffee, and you find an old penny. Nothing special, right? Just another Lincoln cent. But what if I told you that tiny, overlooked coin could be worth $1.1 million? Yeah, that's right, a single 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for a life-changing amount. Come on, it's just a penny. But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be raiding your piggy banks, checking your coin jars, and flipping over every penny you find. So, grab your change, sit back, and let's dive into the crazy, surprising, and downright unbelievable story of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would anyone pay over $1 million for a simple penny? Well, my friend, that's the magic of rare coins. It all comes down to errors, minting mistakes, and scarcity, the holy trinity of coin collecting. The 1989 Lincoln penny we're talking about was supposed to have a little letter under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But this particular coin? Nothing. Completely blank. And now, the US Mint rarely messes up like this, but when they do, collectors go absolutely nuts for it. These rare errors can make a penny worth more than a luxury car, or even a house. Well, back in the 1980s, the Mint was transitioning to new engraving technology, and somewhere in that process, a batch of pennies got struck without a mint mark when they were supposed to have one. That means these pennies are super rare. Only a handful of these no-mint mark pennies have ever been found in top-notch condition, and that's why they're so valuable. If a famous artist like Picasso accidentally painted something with two left hands, that artwork would be priceless, right? The same idea applies to this penny. It's an unintentional masterpiece of the US Mint. Now, let me tell you about the time I got way too excited over a penny. A few years ago, I was at my grandma's house helping her clean up, and she had this big old jar of pennies. I had just read an article about rare coins, so I figured, why not? I dumped the whole jar on the table and started sorting through them like a mad scientist. A 1989 penny with no mint mark. My heart stopped. I grabbed my phone, searched up its value, and for a split second, I thought I hit the jackpot, but nope, turns out it was just a regular worn-out penny. No rare error. No $1 million. Just me, staring at a coin worth 1 cent, feeling like the biggest fool in the world. But hey, it got me into coin collecting. And who knows, maybe one of you will actually find the real deal: how to spot a rare 1989 no-mint mark penny. Now, if you want to join the hunt, here's what to look for. If there's a little D or S under the date, sorry, it's not the one. The rarer pennies in high-grade condition will have super crisp details, no heavy scratches, and a nice, clean strike. If it still has that nice reddish shine, that's a great sign. The best condition ones sell for the highest prices. If you think you've got one, get it checked by a professional grader before you start planning your dream vacation. Because if it's real, you might just become a millionaire overnight. Now, if you do have one of these rare pennies, don't just toss it on eBay for $5. Take it to a professional coin dealer or an auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. These places specialize in rare coins, and they'll get you the absolute best price possible. Imagine explaining to your friends that you got rich by selling a penny. That's the kind of flex money can't buy. So, next time you're about to hand over a penny at the store, take a second look. That little coin in your pocket might just be your golden ticket to $1 million. If you loved this video and want to learn more about coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regular videos about rare coins, valuable collectibles, and how to spot hidden treasures in your everyday pocket change. And hey, if you've ever found a cool or rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your old change jar, looking for a few extra cents to grab your morning coffee, when bam! You spot an old penny. You almost toss it back, because, well, it's just a penny. But wait, Could it be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving into one of the most surprising discoveries in the coin world, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could buy you a house, a luxury car, or about 1.2 million tacos, depending on inflation, of course. So, grab your coin jar, your magnifying glass, and maybe a cup of coffee, because by the end of this video, you might just be on your way to becoming a millionaire, or at least a very excited penny hoarder, alright? So what makes this little copper coin such a big deal? Well, let's start with a bit of history. In 1981, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln pennies across different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins struck in Philadelphia didn't have a mint mark. But what makes this penny special is that it has rare variations and errors that make it extremely valuable, the error that made it worth a fortune. So, how does a penny go from being worth a single cent to over $1 million? One word: errors. One of the key features of the 1981 no-mint mark penny is that some were accidentally struck on brass planchets instead of zinc. This happened because 1982 was the year they officially switched from copper to zinc, but some leftover brass planchets from the previous year accidentally got mixed in. And if you happen to have one of these brass planchet errors, congratulations, your penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money. How to tell if you have the $1.2 million penny now? Before you go running to your piggy bank, let's talk about how to identify this valuable penny. A standard 1981 penny should weigh around 3.11 grams if it's copper, but if it's the valuable brass error, it might weigh slightly more or less. Get yourself a digital scale, trust me, it's worth the investment. A zinc penny tends to look a bit dull or grayish over time, while the rare brass variation will have a richer, deeper copper color. Think of it like the difference between a fresh copper wire and an old, corroded pipe. Okay, this one is fun. Drop your penny on a hard surface. If it has a high-pitched ding, it's likely copper or brass. If it sounds more like a dull thud, it's probably zinc. If you think you've hit the jackpot, don't just throw it on eBay for $5, get it graded. Organizations like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin and tell you its true value. A funny story about finding a valuable penny now. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at my grandmother's house, helping her clean out some old junk drawers. You know, the kind where you find a weird mix of expired coupons, mismatched socks, and about 500 pennies from the past century. As I was sorting through them, I found a 1981 penny that looked different. I remembered hearing about rare pennies, so I grabbed a scale and checked its weight. It was slightly off. My heart started racing. Could I have just hit the coin collector's jackpot? I rushed to a local coin shop, full of excitement. The guy behind the counter took one look at it, flipped it over, squinted, and then said, "Yeah, this is just a regular 1981 penny, worth exactly 1 cent. I was crushed. But hey, at least I learned a valuable lesson: always double-check with an expert before planning your millionaire lifestyle. As of now, the highest auction price for a rare 1981 no-mint mark penny has reached $1.2 million. Of course, not every error penny will sell for that much, but even lower-graded versions can still fetch thousands of dollars. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare variations, so if you have a high-grade, well-preserved brass variation, you're sitting on a small fortune. If you think you have a valuable 1981 penny, here's what to do next. Websites like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbauers specialize in rare coin sales. Just be careful with scams, get your coin certified first. Some dealers are willing to pay a fair price, but do your research to avoid lowball offers. First, always check your change, because you never know when a tiny penny could be worth a massive payday. Second, rare coin errors can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. And finally, don't get your hopes up too high without proper verification. I learned that one the hard way. And now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more secrets to share that could help you turn pocket change into serious cash. And hey, next time you find a weird-looking penny, don't toss it aside. It might just be your golden ticket. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find enough change for a coffee, and boom! You pull out a penny worth $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a single 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could change your life. Worth more than a Lamborghini? Yep, and today, we're diving deep into why this little copper coin is turning regular folks into millionaires overnight. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your pocket change. Plus, I'll share a crazy personal story about the time I almost spent a rare coin without realizing it. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. So, first things first, what's the deal with this penny? Why is a coin that most of us ignore suddenly worth a fortune? It all comes down to a combination of rarity, errors, and collector demand. The 2004 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, but some coins were struck without the mint mark. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal, but here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies were minted on the wrong planchet, meaning they were struck using a metal composition that wasn't supposed to be used for pennies. Others have a striking error that makes them unique. And if you know anything about coin collectors, you know they love mistakes. The weirder, the better. Alright, now let's talk about how you can tell if you have one of these ultra-valuable pennies. Flip your penny over and look under the date. If there's no little letter, P, D, or S, you might be in luck. A regular 2004 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. But if yours is slightly heavier or lighter, it could be one of the rare error coins. Some of these pennies were struck on a nickel planchet or even a silver one. If your 2004 penny looks a little too shiny, you might want to get it checked. Look closely for doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering. Even minor errors can add huge value, and before you go spending that lucky penny on a pack of gum, make sure to take it to a coin grading expert. They can confirm if you've hit the jackpot. Alright, let me tell you about the time I almost made the biggest mistake of my life. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, digging through my pocket for change. I had a bunch of pennies, and honestly, I was just trying to get rid of them. But right before I handed them over, something told me to stop and take a closer look. One of those pennies just felt different. It looked shinier, the color was off, and it weighed a little more than usual. I tossed it in my glove compartment and forgot about it. Months later, I came across it again and decided to do some research. Turns out, it was an error penny worth over $5,000. I almost spent it on a gas station candy bar. Lesson learned: check your change. You never know what you might have. If you think you found a valuable 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the next step is selling it. Here are some of the best places to cash in. Places like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers specialize in rare coins and can get you the best price. eBay and Etsy have collectors searching for these rare coins every day. Always a great option, but make sure you know the value of your coin before selling. A great place to meet collectors and dealers who are willing to pay top dollar. Never clean your coin. Even if it looks dirty, cleaning it can ruin its value. So there you have it, the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny, worth up to $1.3 million. Insane, right? Now, if you've got a jar of pennies sitting around, I'd say it's time for a treasure hunt. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it, and if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about coins worth serious cash. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you've got any questions. I love hearing your stories. Hey, folks. Imagine this: you're digging through some old change in your car, maybe looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and instead of a boring old penny, you're holding on to a potential fortune. Crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what could happen if you come across a 1969 Lincoln penny. That's right, today we're talking about a single penny worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yep, you heard that right. A little brown coin that most people would step over on the sidewalk could actually buy you a dream house, a sports car, and a lifetime supply of tacos. So, before you toss the change in the tip jar, stick with me, because this is one coin you don't want to let go of. We're going to break down exactly why this penny is worth so much, what makes it special, and how you can spot one in your collection. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Why is it commanding such a mind-blowing price? Well, let's rewind back to 1969, a year filled with moon landings, Woodstock, and some really questionable fashion choices. At the Denver Mint, millions of pennies were being churned out like usual. But something weird happened. A small number of these pennies had major minting errors, making them extremely rare and incredibly valuable. And now, before you start raiding your piggy bank, let's break this down, because not every 1969 penny is worth a fortune. There are some key details that make the difference between a regular penny and one that could change your life. Alright, here's where things get interesting. There are a few different reasons why this penny can be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Let's go over the big ones. One of the most sought-after 1969 pennies is the 1969's double-die penny, but its Denver cousin also has some valuable minting errors. Some of these pennies have a slight but noticeable doubling in the lettering, which collectors go absolutely nuts over. If you notice Lincoln's face or the words Liberty and In God We Trust looking a little fuzzy or doubled, hold on to that penny. If you find a 1969 D penny, but it looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, it's probably not worth much. However, if it's in near-perfect condition, that's where the big bucks come in. A high-grade, uncirculated 1969 D penny has sold for over $1 million at auction. Unlike the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints, the Denver Mint didn't produce as many high-value error coins. This means that finding a 1969 D with any kind of significant flaw is super rare, making it even more desirable to collectors. If it doesn't have a D under the date, you're looking at the wrong coin. The D stands for Denver, and that's the one we're after. Like I mentioned earlier, get a magnifying glass and take a close look at the letters and numbers. If they look doubled or slightly offset, that's a good sign. If your penny looks shiny and clean, with very few scratches, that's even better. The higher the grade, the higher the price. If you think you've got a valuable one, don't just throw it up on eBay and hope for the best. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it officially authenticated. And now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandfather clean out his old coin collection. We came across a bunch of pennies from the 1960s, and I almost just threw them into a jar without looking, but then boom! I noticed a 1969 D penny that looked a little different. My heart started racing. I grabbed my phone, looked up the details, and, well, turns out it wasn't the $1 million version. But it did sell for $150 at auction, which, for a penny, is still pretty crazy. That moment taught me a valuable lesson: always check your change. You never know when you might be holding onto something truly valuable. The surprising value of the 1969 D Lincoln penny. A tiny little coin that could be hiding in your couch cushions right now and be worth a life-changing amount of money. If you've got old coins lying around, take a second look at them. Who knows? You might just strike it rich. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more videos on hidden treasures in your pocket change, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Also, if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and remember, check your pennies. You never know which one could make you a millionaire. See you in the next video. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one specific penny, a 2016 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, is worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single cent, worth more than a mansion, a sports car, and a lifetime supply of pizza combined. Now, before you go diving into your couch cushions or emptying your piggy bank, let's break down exactly what makes this little copper beauty so valuable. And stick around, because I've got a crazy personal story about a coin find that changed the way I look at pennies forever. First off, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. Normally, pennies made in 2016 should have a little mint mark, either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But this rare beauty? No mint mark at all. Nada. Zip. Just Lincoln staring back at you like he knows something you don't. This happened due to a minting error, and as any coin collector will tell you, mistakes are worth big money. The US Mint accidentally produced a very limited number of these without a mint mark, making them incredibly rare. And when something is rare, collectors go absolutely wild for it. Now, just because you find a 2016 penny without a mint mark doesn't mean you're instantly a millionaire. Condition is everything. If your coin has been rolling around in a parking lot for years, it's probably not going to bring in the big bucks. But if you find one in pristine condition, preferably graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, that's where the money comes in. Think near perfect condition, never circulated, are the ones that have sold for insane amounts, with the record sale hitting that $1.5 million mark. Imagine that. A penny that costs more than a Lamborghini. I bet Lincoln himself would have been shocked. Alright, so how do you know if you have this golden, or should I say, copper, ticket? Here's what to do: grab a 2016 penny and check below the date. If there's a tiny D or P, sorry, no jackpot. If there's no mint mark, it's time to get excited. If it's shiny, with no scratches or marks, you might have something special. Get it authenticated. Seriously, don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. A certified grading company will tell you exactly how valuable it is. A few years back, I was at a garage sale, sifting through a little box of old coins, when I found a penny that looked off. No mint mark. I asked the guy selling it, "How much for this penny?" and he laughed, saying, "Just take it. It's only a penny." Well, being the obsessive coin nerd that I am, I took it home, did some research, and sent it in for grading. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth thousands. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a humble penny. So, what's the takeaway here? Always check your pocket change. That little penny sitting in your car's cup holder or at the bottom of your junk drawer could be worth a fortune, and if you love learning about coins that are worth way more than you'd ever expect, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more treasure hunting tips, crazy coin stories, and ways to turn spare change into serious cash. Hey, coin hunters! Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, pulling out some crumpled dollar bills and a handful of pennies, when boom, you realize one of those pennies could be worth a life-changing $1.70 million. But today, I'm going to tell you exactly how and why the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a small fortune. I usually just leave those in my car's cup holder or toss them in the take a penny, leave a penny tray at the gas station. But let me tell you, after this video, you'll never look at your pennies the same way again. So, grab your change jar, maybe even a magnifying glass, and let's dive into why this tiny coin has collectors ready to shell out millions, the mystery of the 1986 no-mint mark penny. Alright, first things first. What makes this 1986 Lincoln penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to an error. Yep, a good old-fashioned minting mistake. Normally, US coins have a little letter under the date: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia, though Philly usually leaves theirs blank. But in 1986, a batch of pennies was struck without a mint mark, and these babies are crazy rare. Some collectors believe that these no mint mark pennies were part of an accidental test batch or a small group that slipped through quality control. Either way, only a handful of them have been found, which is why they're selling for so much money. So why are people paying $1.7 million for a tiny copper-coated zinc coin? It's all about rarity and condition. Here's the deal: if you have a 1986 penny, you need to check for it now. Let's say you find a 1986 penny with no mint mark in pristine condition, you might just be sitting on a jackpot. One of the biggest sales of this penny happened at an auction where a collector went all in and paid a record-breaking $1.7 million. Imagine paying $1 million for a penny. Talk about irony. And before you think, "Oh, that's just one crazy collector," nope. The demand for rare Lincoln pennies is huge. Serious collectors love these rare finds, and as long as demand stays high, these pennies will keep fetching high prices. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I started looking through my pocket change just for fun. At first, I thought, it's just pennies, what's the big deal? But one day, I found an old wheat penny from the 1940s, and that's when I got hooked. One night, I was so deep into checking coins that I lost track of time. My wife walked in and saw me under a lamp with a magnifying glass, squinting at pennies like some kind of mad scientist. She just sighed and said, "Are we broke, or is this a new hobby?" Fast forward to today, and now I've learned that some of these boring pennies are actually gold mines in disguise. And that's why I always tell people, check your change. You never know what treasure you might have, how to find one, and what to do if you do so. What if you find a 1986 no mint mark penny? Here's what to do: if it looks brand new, you're in luck. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's truly rare and high quality, collectors will line up to buy it. Remember, coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. Alright, folks, we just went down the 1986 penny rabbit hole, and now you know why this tiny coin is making such a huge impact in the collector's world. So, before you toss that pocket change into a vending machine, take a second look. You might just have $1 million penny in your hands. If you loved this video and want more awesome tips on valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be back with more hidden treasures, crazy auction stories, and expert coin hunting strategies. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, fellow coin hunters. Imagine this: You're digging through your loose change, just looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and boom! You come across a regular old penny from 1979. No big deal, right? Just 1 cent, barely enough to buy a single piece of gum these days. But what if I told you that little copper coin could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.80 million? Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about a 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could change your life forever. Stick around because we'll dive into how to spot this valuable penny, what makes it so special, and how you might have one sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter right now. And hey, if you enjoy learning about hidden treasure in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more crazy coin finds. Alright, let's get into it. Now, before you go flipping over every penny you've ever touched, let's talk about why this specific 1979 penny is so valuable. It all comes down to minting errors and rarity. In 1979, pennies were primarily made in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D-mint mark; and San Francisco, S-mint mark. The ones made in Philadelphia normally didn't have a mint mark, so what's the big deal? Well, there's a very specific error variety that collectors are absolutely crazy about. It's known as the double die obverse, which means the details on the front of the coin were stamped twice, causing a slight but noticeable doubling effect. This doubling is most visible on the word Liberty and the date 1979. But wait, it gets better. Some of these error pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning instead of the usual copper-plated zinc composition, a few were mistakenly printed on pure copper or even a rare leftover silver planchet from a previous minting. Talk about a factory mistake worth celebrating. Who had a weird hobby of collecting pennies? Not in an organized, fancy collector kind of way, but in a hoarder who refuses to use exact change kind of way. One day, he's sorting through his mountain of coins when he notices something odd about one of his 1979 pennies. It looked slightly different, shinier, heavier, and the letters looked off. Instead of tossing it back into the pile, Dave decided to take it to a local coin dealer. And guess what? They told him it was a rare error penny worth over $1 million. 1 penny. Imagine explaining that to your spouse. So what did Dave do? He sold it at an auction and took an early retirement. Not bad for something most people would drop on the sidewalk without a second thought. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these $1 million pennies? Here's what to look for. Make sure it's from Philadelphia, meaning there's no little letter under the date. Check for slightly doubled letters, especially in Liberty and the date 1979. If your penny looks unusually shiny or feels heavier, it might be a rare off-metal strike. Coins in mint state, meaning they look brand new, are worth the most. If yours has been through a few laundry cycles, it might not be as valuable, but still worth checking. If you think you've struck penny gold, don't go spending it just yet. Here's your next move: take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't clean it. Scrubbing a coin to make it shinier can actually lower its value. Collectors love coins in their natural, aged state. Consider auctioning it. Rare pennies like this get top dollar at coin auctions. Some buyers are willing to pay millions if the condition is pristine, so there you have it, the surprising $1 million secret hiding in an ordinary 1979 penny. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? If you found this video helpful, or if you're now aggressively searching through your couch cushions, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin hunting tips. I'll be sharing more stories about rare coins that could be sitting right in your pocket, waiting to make you rich. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Maybe you're sitting on a hidden fortune and don't even know it.